Today, let's talk about oh, I can't believe I did that. What is going on? I'm Des with DesFit, and today let's talk about the New Balance Zante V3s, as well as how they compare to the V1s, which, by the way, are probably some of the best shoes I've ever owned. So the big question is this going to be like Back to the Future, where the first one was way better than the third one? Went there. So a couple of years ago, I was trying to find a decent replacement for my MR00s, which are an amazing shoe, but unfortunately they got discontinued after the whole minimalist craze died down. I did manage to pick up an extra set, but they've since virtually disappeared from the face of the planet. So I tend to like a very lightweight, neutral, minimalist shoe with a very fast feel, but I just couldn't find something similar that I really liked. But after a very brief test run on the V1s at my local running store, I was just like, take my money. I almost never ever pay full price for a pair of shoes, but I fell in love with the amazing fit, that oh-so-fresh foam, and its light and super fast feel. It's a shoe that kind of begs you to go a little bit faster, and it's kind of a bargain at just $100 bucks. Learning my lessons from the MR00s, I decided to pick up a few extra pairs just in case they got discontinued. They didn't, but I'm still glad that I did. Plus, that pink color though. So that leads us to the V3s as well as the V2s and how they compare to the original. The V2s share more similarities with the V3s than they do with the V1s, so I'll be mainly comparing the V3s to the V1s. I hope that makes sense. The V3s do take a slight departure from the V1s with a lot of upgrades, but at the core, they're still very much the same shoe aimed at neutral runners for distances under a half marathon and only gained about an ounce. The no-so engineered mesh upper is much more flexible than the V1s with its welded overlays. It's a secure and snug fit, and that variable weave density provides a lot of breathability, but the toe box does have a slightly different shape. The V1s used welded overlays to create the structure of the shoe, but the V3s utilize a density of mesh that's going to be significantly more comfortable and provides a more customized fit. The tongue is going to be slightly thinner on the V3s, and they've also removed the bump and loop for the laces. The heel cup is probably going to be the biggest departure from the V1s, and I felt this immediately. The entire heel area is going to be significantly stiffer from the collar to the counter. It does make for a more secure fit, but it isn't as convenient to take on and off. Although they share the same 6mm drop, your foot's going to sit slightly deeper in the V3s, and that's most likely due to the much thinner insoles. Moving down the shoe, the fresh foam midsole isn't quite as fresh as the V1s with a noticeably stiffer feel, but I can see that as being much more versatile for varying terrain, and I bet you could get a little bit more mileage out of them too. It's still a very fast feeling shoe, and transitions are just as quick, even though it's a much stiffer at the forefoot. There's a slightly different pattern on the sides, but I personally don't think it makes much of a difference in performance, and it's probably more cosmetic. And then the blown rubber outsole has a slightly different tread pattern that I found provides a little bit more traction, especially in the forefoot. So overall, all versions of the Zantes provide a lightly cushioned but responsive ride. There's going to be lots of feedback without being too springy like the Boracay's or Fresh Foam 1080s, so it's going to be great for speed work. I thought that I'd wear these out quickly since the foam was so soft, but I've been able to get about 400 plus miles out of them without much compression. I wasn't expecting the upper limit of 500 out of these, and I was expecting more like 300 for a shoe like this, but I was pleasantly surprised to get that much mileage out of them before I started to feel them lose a little bit of bounce. And the only thing I could really complain about is the outside blowing out a little bit, as well as a little bit of delamination from the outsole. It's probably going to be the smoothest and most responsive, snappy shoes I've ever put on, and I find myself just wanting to go faster and faster with these. These are most definitely built for speed. I do much prefer the V1s because of their lighter and softer feel, and I was hoping the V3s would go back to its roots from the V1s, but like I said earlier, the V3s are going to be a little bit more similar to the 2s than the original. So if you're looking for a fast and lightweight shoe that can be used for both training as well as on race day, this could be for you if you're a neutral striker that likes to run mid to shorter distances. Plus, it's an absolute bargain compared to some of the other shoes out there. Lastly, New Balance is just killing it with their colors, designs, and details they put into these, especially with these Boston Marathon editions, which are just sick. Everything from the clear outsole that shows the Run Boston graphics underneath, to the subtle stars on the heel collar, the eye-catching tongue graphics, the extra effort they put into the insole design, and even the laces that have Run Boston on the ends. Sick. There's a reason Runner's World gave this shoe a 2017 Editor's Choice Award, and it's the same reason that I own 6 pairs of them. I have some links in the description below where you can get the V3s as well as the V1s, and while you're down there, if you don't mind, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for a lot more gear reviews coming soon. Thanks so much for watching, and happy running.